Česko. Národ v mnoha směrech, samo srdce Evropy. Česko je zem, kde se východ a západ protínají, kde se setkává protestantství a katolictví a kde se míchá všechen alkohol Evropy dohromady. Česko bylo velké jednou, možná dvakrát. Pojďme si představit, že je znovu velké. My heartfelt apologies to anyone even remotely familiar with Czech or Slavic, especially West Slavic languages, for that earlier pronunciation. Czechs do this amazing thing where they don't have the slightest idea of how syllables work. It's astounding, really. Even the Georgians know how to form better syllables. Like, come on, step up. I'll concede that having been born in a linguistic environment that doesn't know syllables with more than two onset consonants plays a part in my failure to speak Czech. But anyhow, to restore a greater Czechia. The Czechs are a West Slavic people set chiefly between the Sudetenland Mountains and the Alps. To suppose a greater and more natural Czechia, let alone any nation, one must focus on history, the areas once belonging to the nation, as well as on geography, where natural limits like mountains, rivers and so forth lie, and on ideology, what irredentism regards as naturally rightful lands. First, to discuss minor historical matters. Tieshin, or Transolsa or Zaolji, or Česká Silesia, a region known by many names, of which most actually refer to tiny divisions thereof. The fallout of the First World War saw the region claimed by both the new Czechoslovakia and Poland. 1920 saw it divided between Czechoslovakia and Poland in the Spa Conference, and 1938 saw the region entirely forfeited to Poland in the Munich Agreement. Let us suppose here the entire region Czech, shifting the border eastward by only a matter of some kilometers. To right some wrongs, let us look at the southern border with Austria. What modernly is was decided in the late 1920s to align with the traditional borders of the Bohemian Crown, which was not all in all a poor choice, as much of the border is lined by natural features, the Sudeten Mountains. But for the south it made a rather arbitrary line with Austria, as much of the south of Czechia would house an Austrian majority for the duration of the interwar period because of it. Nevertheless, we shall mock the border of our day. Imitate it, I mean, since it's familiar, and since there's no other natural limit. We shall change it though to be more in line with the Vltava in the western part of the southern border, and with the Thaya subsidiary of the Morava in the eastern part of the southern border. Just northward, to reach into history on a more major scale, Silesia. Now, funnily enough, Silesia falls very awkwardly in the European plane, so there's no obvious natural borders to it. Let us, for this part, instead look at history. More precisely, let us amend the Polish-German border to align more with the provincial borders of Germany before the Great War. Let us award everything east of Brandenburg, Pommern and Silesia to the Poles, and everything west to the Germans. With a more historical baseline border, let us now extend Czechia's grasp beyond the Sudeten Mountains and into Silesia, cut off in the west by the Neisse River, and in the north by, well, nothing but the historical border. Moving eastward, we really ought to address the elephant in the room, Slovakia. What's a greater Czechia if not Czechoslovakia, after all? The Slovak borders of our day are pretty good, but to not include Transcarpathia, lined by the Carpathian Mountains and the Tisa River in Hungary, is absolutely criminal. So let us right that wrong as well. Additionally, one must consider this map of Slovak minorities within modern Hungary. Now there are no natural borders within northern Hungary to line the border with, so we'll rather just draw the line rather arbitrarily to include as many Slovaks as possible, to gain some semblance of defensibility though. Let us further cripple Hungary by extending Romania to the Tisa River in the east, Austria in the west to the Raba, and Croatia to include much of the Baranya region in the south. With a crippled Hungary, it dare not challenge Czechoslovakia. Now we could also amend the Slovak part of the Czechoslovak border with Poland a bit, like we did with Hungary, but I think it is more appropriate to consider greater visions, namely Zaporoslavia, the West Slavic Union. Let us elementarily jump over the entire border with Poland and subsume the nation into Czechoslovakia, creating Zaporoslavia. With this we reach our final major point of drawing the borders. Since this is not a Polish-led union, we need not consider including the natural extents of Poland proper, like the irredenti in Belarus. But instead we can line the border with the core populaces of Poland on natural grounds. For the west we shall retain much of the Brandenburg and Pomeranian border with Germany, even if a bit unnatural. For the north, the Baltic Sea provides a most convenient natural limit, while, moving westward, the Neman River draws a wondrous line, should we include some Russian and Lithuanian lands, which we will, since the Russians of Kralovic only settled there some decades ago, and since Poland and Lithuania are similar enough cultures to excuse a slight overlap. Continuing southward, let us suppose the border with Belarus follow the Narev and Bug rivers, granting the close approximation of the fourth Polish partition to Belarus. Finally, in Ukraine, sort of following the Bug river for a bit, let us grant eastern Galicia to our Zapadoslavia. The Ukrainians certainly are preoccupied enough to let this one Polish region pass, surely. And that's what I believe we shall end with. A Czechia made of Czechoslovak and Zapadoslav, a true contender, well, to Hungary in levels of corruption, to Russia in levels of alcoholism, and to, well, themselves in levels of poverty.